What's up, guys? For those of you who don't know, my name is Christian. I'm a pre-PA student, and I'll be applying to my PA program next year around April or May. So today what we're going to talk about is what you could do to get into PA school and what I do personally to get into PA school, what the process was like. And I'm also going to go over my stats. So I think some of you might be here just to see how you compare and like what the averages are. So I will go over the averages of my school for the people coming into the PA program, and then I will go over my stats and how they compare to those. So some of them are above, some of them are below, and I think that's going to be the case for everybody. You're going to have your strong points and your weak points, and you want to identify those, your strong points and your weak points, and the strong points you want to talk about in your interview and your application, like any essay or personal statement. But you also want to discuss your weak points, and you want to kind of justify them and talk about what you learned from whatever the weak points. So if you have like a low patient care hours, talk about the process and what you did and what you learned from the patient care experience that you did have, even if that's just shadowing, if you didn't have any work experience and you're applying. Talk about your shadowing experiences. Make the quality of it seem high so that it takes away from any lack of quantity you might have. So definitely discuss those in your interview and application. So bear with me, guys, because I have everything written down on here. I have a bunch of papers here I'm going to be going over and getting the information from. So first we'll go over my GPA. So when you apply to CASPA, I haven't looked at CASPA because I'm applying internally through my program. But when you apply through CASPA or internal, I believe you have your cumulative GPA, which is science courses and non-science courses, and then you have, where they'd also count your non-science GPA, and then you have your prerequisite course GPA or your science GPA, and that's all the science classes, your organic chemistries, your bios, stuff like that. So my cumulative GPA is a 3.935 after 3 semesters at PA school. I still have 3 left, so I'm halfway done. So halfway through, I'm at a 3.935. So the average of the class going into PA school for my program personally was 3.61 for the class of 2022. So that's 9% above what the average is going in. Now my GPA might go down a little bit as I go through because the second half of my program is arguably harder than the first. So I still have anatomy left, physiology. But I do have a physical therapy background, so I do have some experience with anatomy and physiology, so I think I do have a little bit of an advantage, but I know there's still difficult classes. I still have immunology and my second organic chemistry too, so I think I'm going to have a little more trouble with that, so I think this is going to go down a little bit. So my goal is to just stay above the average of a 3.61. Now my science GPA is a 3.923, and excuse me. The average for my program for people going in is a 3.54. So that puts me 11% above. But once again, this is specifically science GPA, so anytime I do, bad in a science class, it's going to heavily weigh this number, so I think this also is going to go down. So it's always good to have a slight advantage early on, because when you get into the later classes, your GPA is probably going to drop a little bit. So when you do definitely your introduction classes, you want to work very hard to keep that A, so that helps weighs your GPA up, because those first 3 semesters, you take 17 credits each semester, that's around 50-60 credits. So that's, if you get a 4.0 in all of those, that's definitely going to weigh up your GPA, even if you get B minuses. Obviously you don't want B minuses, but even if you did, in the next 3 semesters, your GPA is gonna look a lot better than if you got A minuses in those first 3 semesters. So just really focus on doing good in those introduction classes. Don't party all the time and just disregard those first 3 semesters and your first half and all that. Really focus on your freshman year and get everything organized. So that's my GPA. I also do have a nutrition minor. My GPA is currently a 4.0 because I've only taken a few classes from them. Not that it really matters, but it feels nice to say I have a 4.0 on something because I've tried so hard and I've only gotten 3.9s on everything else for every semester. So there's that. So next we'll go over my patient care hours. So I got the majority of my patient care hours from working as a physical therapist assistant in inpatient therapy. I also did some shadowing, and for my PTA clinicals I also have some hours. So let me pull up my hours and I'll talk to you about exactly where I got them from and how many I have. So recently I've done some online shadowing as well that got me at currently around 40 hours, and I only started a few weeks ago. I'm not sure if my school will count these, and I'm not sure if CASPA will count them. So you want to check with any school you're applying to, or your school if you're applying internally. So yeah, I had some experience in clinicals as a PTA, shadowing family practice, shadowing orthopedics, and working as a physical therapist assistant, along with the online shadowing hours. So currently my patient care hours are 1100. Bear with me. Numbers aren't my thing. Oh yeah, 1180. So 1180. The average patient care hours for people matriculating into the PA program at my school is 2,525. So that does put me significantly lower. However, I still have about a year and a half until I actually start the PA program, and that's where these numbers are coming from, is when they actually enter into the program in May. I'll be starting the PA program in May 2022. So I do have, a year and a half to gain more hours. So currently that puts me 53% below the average. But my goal is to gain 820 more hours to make it about 2,000 hours, and that would only put me 21% below the average. So I'm just gonna continue gaining shadowing hours any way I could, and continue working as a PTA at my current job. I'm also gonna try to get another PTA job, as I currently only work on the weekends in the morning. So I'd like to gain some more hours that way and make some more moolah. Next we'll go over the GRE. So the average overall for the GRE I know is a 300, and that's what you should shoot for, a little bit higher. But some programs actually have a lower average than that. So my program personally has a 297 score, and that's the combined verbal and math score. My score, I studied the whole summer for that, and I purposely planned it at the end of the summer, so I knew I would have the whole summer to study for it and wouldn't have to worry about school. And I recommend you do the same, or over winter break if you don't have a summer available. Just give yourself 1 to 2 months or 1 to 3 months to study ahead of time. You definitely want at least a month. So it's a very small percentage above the average. I'm only 3% above at a 307. But it's pretty significant when the GRE is such a specific number. Like the difference between a 297 and say like a 303 is pretty significant with the way the grading system works. So I'm pretty satisfied with my score. The math section actually weighed me down because math, as we saw before, isn't my subject. But I really, worked hard for the verbal section, so that really helped me out. Volunteering hours. So there's not really any info on how much volunteering you should get, and there's no average hours here because you normally don't count your hours, you count your experiences. So the best option for you is just to focus on getting a variety of different experiences outside of healthcare as well. So you want some experiences in healthcare just to show that you want to help people and you have that compassion, but also to show that you have a varied interest and you have interests outside of medicine. You're not a boring person and you're not just doing it for the application. So I had 7 experiences. I had a experience when I went to Penn State doing a clinic. I volunteered at a foster home. I was planning to go on a medical mission trip at my school, but that got canceled due to COVID. We were supposed to go to San Lucas Tolima, Guatemala, but it still counts as volunteering experience because I worked with my team and we worked on a fundraiser. I had worked with Habitat for Humanity, building a house for a single mother. That was a very rewarding experience, especially since we got to talk to the future homeowners. So that was just amazing. I also worked with the Red Cross recently in the last year in the disaster action team, and that was, rewarding experience, and I'm still working with them. So currently like on an on-call schedule, so if there's ever like a house fire and they need us, they give us a call and we head out there. There's a few other things. I worked, participated in an honor society, participated in a program at my school called STARS, Students Together Achieving Remarkable Success, where we tutored and mentored Latino X youth, which I think something like that is great for people, and to get, not only are you getting volunteer experience, but you're also getting leadership and mentoring experience, and you're just developing your compassion skills, your compassion muscle, if you want to say. So I really recommend that you look into programs within your school, and then like national programs like the Red Cross. I think those would be the best options for you. And next we'll talk about shadowing. So I have 115 hours. Once again, there is no numbers on this for my averages for the school, because these are considered in the PCE hours. My school does require at least 50 hours. So I would say for you would want around 50 to 100, and you would also want it to be within at least 2 different specialties. You don't want to show that you're back and forth between specialties. You only have like 5 hours in each. You want to show interest in one area, but also show that you're interested in other areas, if that makes sense. What I'm saying is you don't want to just hop from specialty to specialty, but you don't want to just have all your hours in one specialty. Now, when it comes to the online shadowing that we're doing now, it's hard to focus on one specialty because it's all over the place. So I think a lot of programs are going to make exceptions for that. So I wouldn't, really worry about that. I'm pretty sure that's all I got. I've been working on my essay. That's another thing you have to think about when going into PA school. So I would start your essay a year early. I know it sounds really crazy, but I would start your essay a year before you're ready to apply at least. So then it gives you time to write the initial rough draft, and then you edit it, send it to people on IG, any PAs you know on IG, any PAs you shadow, send it to your professors, have your family review, and just keep revising over that year, over and over and over and over. I would try at least every 1 or 2 months to just revise it over and over, because you're taking into PA school. You want your essay, your personal statement to be tip-top shape and really express your journey adequately and vividly. And you want to make it so it's emotional for you, and it really ask your family, like, does this describe who I am, and is this meaningful to you? And just be yourself. And also prep for your interview. I think my program interviews are typically at the end of the summer. I don't know how it is for other programs, but advice I would give to myself if somebody was in my situation was prepare for your interview over the summer. So once you get done with school in May, right after that, start prepping for the interview. Do mock interviews, go over questions, know exactly what you're going to be asked, know how you're going to respond. Don't have cookie cutter responses. Don't have like a set thing you're going to respond. Just keep in mind like what you would say, and keep in mind your journey. You could also reference your essay, not referencing it word from word, but just try to think of what you wrote and then respond like that. So this is kind of a long video, and I think that's all I got for you guys. That's what I'm doing to get into PA school, and that's what I think you guys should do and what will help you. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me. And thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed.